Welcome to our deep dive into the brutal fate of Nazi leaders captured after WW2. We're embarking on a journey through time, revisiting the tumultuous downfall of the Nazi regime and the gripping Nuremberg Trials. We'll be unearthing the chilling realities that transpired when these infamous leaders were brought to justice. Expect to uncover startling truths as we delve deeper into this dark segment of our history. Buckle up as we journey back in time to the aftermath of World War II. As World War II ended, the Allied forces had a daunting task ahead of them. They were faced with the monumental challenge of capturing the leaders of the Nazi regime. Among these were notable figures such as Hermann Göring, Hitler's second-in-command and founder of the Gestapo, and Joachim von Ribbentrop, the Nazi foreign minister. The process was not straightforward. These men had been at the helm of the most destructive regime in history, and they had the resources to evade capture. The Allied forces had to rely on their intelligence networks, local informants, and sometimes sheer luck to locate and apprehend these men. Despite the challenges, the Allies were relentless. They combed through Europe, leaving no stone unturned. Their determination eventually paid off as one by one, these leaders were captured and brought to justice. With the Nazi leaders in custody, it was time for justice to be served. The Nuremberg Trials, a series of military tribunals, were about to change the course of history. These trials, held in the German city of Nuremberg, were not just any court proceedings. They were the world's first international criminal tribunals, held in the aftermath of the most devastating conflict in human history, World War II. 24 major Nazi leaders were in the docks, including Hermann Göring, Rudolf Hess, and Joachim von Ribbentrop. They faced charges of crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. The evidence against them was overwhelming, from documents and testimonies to the haunting footage of the concentration camps. But the Nuremberg trials were about more than just punishment. They were about establishing a legal precedent. They were about stating, unequivocally, that individuals, no matter how high-ranking, could be held accountable for their actions during times of war. The verdicts handed down were varied. Some, like Göring, were sentenced to death. Others received prison sentences. A few were acquitted. Regardless of individual outcomes, the Nuremberg trials sent a powerful message to the world, that such crimes would not be tolerated, that justice, even in the face of unthinkable atrocities, was possible. The Nuremberg trials marked a significant turning point, but what happened to the Nazi leaders afterwards? Each had a different fate, some more dramatic than others, but that's a story for another scene. The brutal fate of the Nazi leaders captured after WW2 was sealed. The Nuremberg trials, a monumental event in the history of international law, had left an indelible mark on the world. But what happened to these leaders in the aftermath? Many of the prominent Nazi officials faced the ultimate punishment: death. The likes of Joachim von Ribbentrop, Wilhelm Keitel, and Alfred Rosenberg were among the 12 who were hanged. Their sentences were carried out in October 1946, marking a grim end to their reign of terror. The fate of others, like Rudolf Hess and Albert Speer, was life imprisonment. Hess, Hitler's deputy, spent 4 decades in Spandau prison until his death in 1987. Speer, often dubbed Hitler's architect, was released in 1966 after serving 20 years. Yet not all Nazi leaders met the same fate. Some managed to evade capture, disappearing into the annals of history, their whereabouts still shrouded in mystery. The impact of these leaders' fate was far-reaching. It set a precedent for holding individuals accountable for war crimes and crimes against humanity, a principle that continues to guide international law today. It also served as a chilling deterrent, a stark warning to any who would dare to repeat such atrocities. The brutal fate of these leaders serves as a stark reminder of the atrocities committed during World War II. Our exploration of the brutal fate of Nazi leaders captured after WW2 draws to a close. We've journeyed through their capture, the Nuremberg trials, and finally their fate. It's a stark reminder of the consequences of actions taken during the tumultuous era. As we reflect upon these historical events, it's important to keep the dialogue going, so engage in conversations, question the narratives, and continue to seek knowledge. Remember to subscribe and share for more deep dives into history's most compelling stories. Until next time, keep exploring.